So a very warm welcome to each one of you students. My name is Sukriti and I'm working in capacity of growth specialist at Top Rankers. Today, I'm going to be the host for the entire webinar. We are going to talk about law as a career. We are going to talk about how IIM has come into the picture. And we have our esteemed panelist, our guest for today, Dr. Tanya Malik. She's currently the faculty of law at IIM Rotman. She has done her postdoc, just a second, ma'am. She has done her postdoc from Delhi University, also a law graduate, and delivered multiple lectures in renowned universities like GT Goenka. To add more, she has done her international fellowship from Hague University, Hague Academy of International Law in Netherlands, and her specialization is law of torts, family law, environment law, law of constitution. So I welcome you on board, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I see a lot of students have already joined us. I see more than 20 students are here with us already, and I'm glad to welcome all of you on board, students. So, of course, moving ahead with the first thing, we all know that IIM has got a very high aspirational value. Like most of the students know about IIM just because, so I see a lot of disturbance. Just 1 second, ma'am. Just give me a second. A moment, please. Yeah, now I think there won't be any disturbance. All right. So we all know that IIMs have got an extremely high aspirational value, especially when it comes to management. And that is how Indian Institute of Management, Rohtak, has come into the picture today, because today we are going to talk about how law has taken a great turn, why IIM has started a program named IPL, that is Integrated Program in Law, a program which you can do right after grade 12. We have heard about IPM so far, and today we are here with another program by the name IPL. And I'm glad to have Tanya Malik ma'am over here, because she's going to talk a lot about what is IPL, what is going to be the admission process, how the life of a student at IPL going to look like, what are the curriculum and placement opportunities, what is the difference between IPL and other law graduations. Of course, we're going to talk about like what was the thought agenda behind starting this program. So if you have any doubt, anything you would like to know, students, please put it in the chat box. We are going to pick up your questions in just no time. But in the meantime, yes, I'm going to start talking about the first thing that, ma'am, what is the basic difference between any other law entrances? And let's say if I talk about IPL, what is the basic difference if you would like to answer the question? Yeah.
Okay, regarding this question, there is actually no difference, not much of a difference between the other law entrances and the entrance to the IPL program, because for the IPL program as well, we are taking CLAT scores, but that's just a part of our assessment. So we take the CLAT scores and that has a 45% weightage. We also take into account the past academics of the students, so meaning thereby their score in 12th and in the 10th standard is also taken into account, and 15% is allocated for the purposes of the personal interview that is conducted by us. So this is how the breakup is. So, summarily saying, there is actually not much of a difference. We are also taking, just like the National Law Schools of India, we are also taking the CLAT scores, but over and above the CLAT scores, we are also considering the past academics, and also there is a personal interview process that is involved for entrance.
All right. So students, I think already you've got your first note. First notes that you need to pen down, that CLAT is the score that IIM Rohtak is going to accept when it comes to their program IPL. You have to make sure that if you are in grade 10, so quickly you can write in the chat box and tell me and ma'am that what class are you in right now. So if you are somebody who's in grade 10th, make sure that you study hard enough to score well in your academics, be it grade 10th and grade 12, because that is important. And of course, you have to nail in your personal interview round, because this is the main breakup when it comes to the acceptance of yours to IIM into IPL. All right, ma'am. So moving ahead, I have a very basic question. I even asked to people for IPM as well. What was the thought behind starting this program? Why IPL?
Okay, so IIM Rohtak is actually the first IIM in the country which has forayed into core legal education. And the idea behind this was because you already know that IIMs are the pioneers of management education in the country. But at the same time, IIM Rohtak thought that they should now come up with this course which provides good in-depth knowledge of business administration as to how a business is run, and at the same time should have a good legal knowledge as well. So that was the idea behind, because the business managers of today, this is the demand of the industry, that they should have a good idea about corporate governance. They should have the bare minimum understanding about the Indian Companies Act, about the intellectual property rights, about the issues which are related to labor legislations in the country, about the contract related issues, because all these things, with more and more regulation, all these things are becoming essential for the successful running of any business in the country today. So this is actually a demand on the part of the industry as well, that they want business managers who have a good legal knowledge. So that was the basic idea behind coming up with this program. We are already pioneers in management education, and we want to give the best of legal knowledge with it, so that there can be an integrated degree that would be awarded to the student, which is BBA plus LLB. So this was the basic inception. However, that being said, law, the LLB degree in itself, it's a very empowering degree. So a law graduate and IPL graduate from IIM Rohtak, it's not necessary that he only has to go and practice into the corporate side. All the other traditional avenues that are there in the legal profession, such as the judiciary, or you want to be a litigating lawyer, you want to practice in family law, you want to be a criminal lawyer, all those avenues are still very much available to you. So this was the basic idea behind introducing this program.
I perfectly I feel so that if you're keeping up with what industry wants and how students are coming with it, it's such a beautiful thought that it looks like a pure amalgamation between what industry wanted, what the business people wanted, how management is being taught, and with a legal backbone. So students, you all can understand that how, I mean, the depth is there in the inception of the program. The starting of the program is not just a random thought, but a lot of research has been put into the picture, and then the program has started. So yes, if you are somebody who's looking forward, ki you want to be a person from IIM, you want to graduate from there, but you still have an inclination towards law, probably you are at the right place, and you know that IPL can be one of your topmost choices. All right. So ma'am, since we just discussed about how this, so what students get attracted to most is that how is a life going to look like I know it's the first year, we're just going to start the program, but still if we can have an anticipation as to this is how the student is going to start his or her day, and that's how it is going to continue till the end, and how can you make them visualize that this is how an IPL student going to look like?
We had started with the IPL program in the last year. So already the first of the batch is already with us.
Okay.
They will be now graduating to their second year. So already we have, around 150 students on campus who are a part of the IPL program. The initial response in itself was quite overwhelming for the institution, and that is what encouraged us. So regarding this question, I think an IPL student would, answer that in a better manner. But, because we interact with the students all the time, so I would say that the life here in, right now it's a residential course. So the life here in, it is quite disciplined and rigorous. And there is a lot of stress that is, especially in the initial first and the second year, that is paid on your building up your academic foundation. So the classes typically they can start at around 8:40 in the morning, and depending upon the day, it can go up to even 5:30 in the evening. And in addition to just not just the academics, the institution does pay a lot of attention on the overall personality development of the students. So at the same time, in the mornings there could be some gym activity, some other physical activity that you would be asked to participate in. This is for the purposes of working out a work-life balance also, because not just your work, you also need to be able to look after your health. And in addition to this, we are also in the operation now of operationalizing a lot of committees, different committees, the Moot Court Society, the Legal Aid Society, the Debates and Discussion Society. The idea behind all these committees is it is all student driven, and secondly, it is to get their participation so that not just the academic skills, but also the practical skills, the analytical skills also get worked up in the process. So this is how a typical day is. It is quite strenuous. This is the feedback that I do get from my students. But this is the investment. This is the skill investment that they are doing upon themselves within these 5 years.
Means we are building the students in such a way that they turn out to be great lawyers, I must say, and of course a great in the field of management as well. That's how the program is formed. So
Yes.
that's I think amazing way to put that. It's more like a mix of academics, curricular and co-curricular activity, where I see when I'm talking to you that it's whole like a holistic development that we are offering to the student. So it's rigorous, but in a very good way, what I understand. All right.
Yes.
So students, see, you've got another note to take, that it's not a program where like any other good college should stand up. That's exactly the way IIM Rohtak is there, that it's not simply a course that they've started without thinking much about it, but thought about each and everything, be it your academics, be it your extra activities, right from your health and each and everything. Like ma'am talked about moot courts, the debating society, each and everything is done by you for you. So that's such an amazing thing, an amazing way to learn. I'm sure there are group activities that are going on. There might be individual activities. So in a way, I'm sure students, the course is absolutely enlightening to each one of us and should be one of your choices, as I just mentioned even before. So ma'am, since you just talked about that, any other law university might offer different career opportunities. You were just talking about litigation. You were discussing about a lot of other options are there. So does IPL program also have a similar plethora of opportunities, just like any other law
So
graduate?
absolutely. So this is an integrated BBA LLB degree, which is being awarded by the IIM Rohtak. And at the same time, this sort of a format, it is BCI, Bar Council of India approved. So many other institutions in the country as well are providing this particular degree. So it has complete acceptance in the market already. It's a prevalent, format of a degree which is there. And at the same time, as I've already told you, that although, the industry connect of the IIMs is much better. So the prospects in the industry side, obviously, that improves. So corporate law and intellectual property rights, labor laws, banking laws, taxes. So these are all the viable options that are available to you. But at the same time, there is nothing that restricts you, because at the end of the 5 years, you will be essentially a law graduate. So there is nothing that prevents you from going into the litigation side, from entering any NGO or becoming a legal advisor in a firm or something like that, or even entering academics for that matter, or if you take up higher education, or even entering the Indian judicial services. So all these things, the state judicial services, so all these avenues are obviously open to an IPL student. But I think their edge would be considering the kind of post curriculum that has been designed, and the kind of academic environment that an IIM provides. They will be, they will thrive. This is what my anticipation is from my student, that they will do well in the corporate side.
All right. So when we say corporate law companies coming in, I think there we'll have an upper edge.
Yes.
So students, I believe that most of you often ask us questions. So this question often comes at, ma'am, which college to choose for a corporate law? So what we orient them is it is too early for you to decide that if you want to enter into corporate law, probably you don't choose a course or a career like that. You basically write CLAT, get into a good law school. That's how we do. But now probably we have an answer that if you're looking forward, you're very keen on getting into a corporate job, then probably one of the options that you should definitely be eyeing upon is IIM Rohtak's IPL program.
Yeah, and one more thing I would like to add, because most of the students here are law aspirants, as you correctly pointed out, that in the initial first year, it's not the right time to even decide whether it is the IPR or litigation or
Correct.
corporate law for you. My submission to all the law aspirants is you enroll yourself in a good LLB program, such as like this one or any one else, and then you do maximum internships possible. So internships is actually a way through which you can identify your interest, go into corporate law, try litigation, go into IPR, try arbitration, try negotiation, try mediation. Do as many internships as possible, because that is wherein you will identify where your interest lies. So you do
Correct.
not actually have to decide in the first year itself. You still have a lot of time. 5 years is a lot of time to actually identify where your interest lies.
Correct. So students, I still request you that since, ma'am is herself here to answer all these questions, put your questions in the chat box. Let us know that what your interest is in. Like, are you somebody who has already decided this is the field of law where you're going to go ahead with? Or maybe you're somebody who's confused and still want to know more on such kind of programs. So please put your questions in the chat box so that we can help you as many ways as possible. So, ma'am, of course, we have discussed about what are the benefits when we come to IPL program, or what are the benefits of being an IIM Rotman alumni. Everything we already know. But the most important question which must be there in these students' mind is, what is the admission process? How do we get through? Is CLAT the only way out, or do you have anything more to highlight upon?
Okay, the selection procedure, as I've already told you, it basically comprises of the three components. So CLAT scores are mandatory. 45% marks is allocated to that component. Then we need the past academics. So that is your 12th and your 10th performance. And then 15% is actually left for the personal interview. So based upon all these components, there will be a final merit list that will be created. And on that list, basically the admission offers would be made. In addition to this, to be eligible to apply for this particular course, we expect a bare minimum of 60% at least in your 10th and in your 12th standards. So, and for the ones who belong to the reserved category, there is a relaxation of 5% marks in this regard. So the details are also available on the website, but this is how essentially the procedure is, and this is how it will be. So there is no flexibility as to, we will not accept any other scores, the CLAT scores and the past academics, and based upon that, the personal interview and then the final merit list. This is how it will be done this time as well.
So students, I think what ma'am is suggesting is such an interesting insight, such an interesting point, reason being that that how rigorous the selection process, the admission process is. It's not simply that you give an exam and you get through a college, which itself speaks volumes about how the college is, how the institution is. So if you're someone who's looking forward to become a law graduate, one of the courses you can choose is definitely IPL. But at the same time, you have to keep in your mind that you have to make sure you're scoring well in your CLAT, you are having a great academic record, and of course, your interview needs to be perfectly good. So regarding interview, ma'am, although I did not think upon asking this question to you, but if you can guide our students in any way as to how an interview would look like, what are the kind of questions, what are the areas where students might be asked questions around?
Okay, so because these are only 12th pass out students, though, so the interview is actually not of the level that is expected at the PGP level at an IIM. So we will be asking questions related to general awareness and to their academics, so to the stream that they belong to. And in addition to that, we will be also trying and judge upon their communication skills. So these are the basic three components. So their academic domain knowledge, depending upon the stream that they come from, then the general awareness about the issues generally, and communication skills. These are the three basic components for the
And
person.
does it make any difference that they belong to a field like science or commerce or arts? Does that create any difference in
No,
the
no, it's
interview?
completely neutral. It is completely neutral. So
All
there
right.
is no preference for any stream here. And in generally in any law school, there is never a preference to any particular stream. So students from all streams are welcome, and they already are here.
And ma'am, there's no added advantage as well. Like, for example, if I say I'm from an arts background and I'm opting for this particular stream, do I have any added advantage? Like, if I want to guide a student of grade 10th in choice of subject, somebody who's looking forward ki mujhe aage jaake IIM mein jana hai because I'm aiming for this program, because maybe for him, it will be like what, 8 years down the lane. So he would definitely have more, the program is going to grow more in terms of depth, in terms of development in all regards. So in that case, shall we guide our grade 10 students to choose a subject, or no, it doesn't matter at all, they can choose whatever they want?
Okay, I believe now when the students they enter 11th and 12th standard, I might be wrong here, but there is a subject option that is there of legal education.
Yes, legal studies. Yes.
Legal studies, yeah. So if you have that particular subject, I am not actually commenting upon the stream. The stream is up to you. But if you have that particular subject, if you've studied that, so that sort of an understanding helps you in cracking the CLAT, as well as, sitting for these interviews wherein basic questions related to the legal system could be asked. So that is the only suggestion I would make. And other than that, be aware about the general affairs, and also inculcate good communication skills. That will, I think, help you not just for this admission procedure, but for any LLB admission procedure.
That's really nice, because students, we are exactly getting to know what all is required if you're someone who's aiming for an institution like IIM. You know that you need to be great at communication skills. If you're someone from grade 10th, you know that one of the subjects that you should be opting should be legal studies. Your GK should be great when it comes to current affairs, static knowledge. Both of them might be into consideration. And more, the most important thing is that you should definitely be someone who should have that kind of zeal to be a part of this. That's what probably is going to be even judged. All right, ma'am. So I think students, you already got a lot regarding the admission process, regarding the interview. So entrance, we have already discussed. I believe, ma'am, CLAT is the only entrance, but is there any other entrance also that we are considering?
No, no other entrance, only the
It's
CLAT
just
scores.
CLAT. All right. So, ma'am, if I talk about that, IIM Rohtak has started this program. Definitely, there will be some USPs which are associated with it. So, if you can highlight a couple of them, which talks about why IIM Rohtak has this program standing out from all the other programs that we have in the market.
Okay, so what makes the IPL program at IIM Rohtak stand out is the very first thing that I mentioned initially, is that this is at present the only IIM in the country which is offering a LLB course. So, when, for example, 10 years back, when I was a student myself, we could never think of entering any IIM at any undergraduate level. Now, thanks to IIM Indore, we do have the IPM program, and many IIMs have followed that fashion. So IPM has already opened up at the undergraduate level. Management education has already opened up. But at the same time, IIM Rohtak is the first one to enter into the legal arena. And I think being exposed to the IIM academic environment and their, ecosystem at such an early stage, it has its own advantages. So for the fact that, the kind of faculties that we are actually, the ones who are conducting classes for the IPL program, they are top notch in the field of academics. And the best of the faculties are not just coming from the Indian universities. Many universities, many visiting faculties are coming even from the, top ranking foreign universities as well. So, that is actually, it's something of an experience that otherwise you would not have been able to get. And this you get at IIM at such an early age. And this is a very professionally run program. Everything goes according to the minute. There is no rescheduling of classes. We are very strict regarding the attendance criteria as well. 100% attendance is actually expected. So 100% participation in courses is actually expected from the students. So I think this is what is actually making this particular program stand out at the LLB level.
That's really nice, because students, see, again, you're hearing from the horse's mouth directly that why IIM Rohtak has started this program, and why and how does it stand out. So students, important points to be noted. I hope that we already have a couple of questions in the chat box. I'm going to pick it up in maybe another two to three more minutes. But one question which was there in my mind also. So ma'am, when we were talking about the weightage, since you mentioned that 45% is the weightage of the CLAT, 15% is the weightage of the PI. So the students have already made a calculation that is 40% the weightage for grade 10th and 12th combined, or do they have a separate weightage?
So 20%, I think, for 10th and 20% for 12th, and combined 40%.
All right. So students, Vedant Jha has asked this question. So Vedant, you already have an answer to your question, that when you say 40%, it is equally divided between grade 10th and 12th board exam score. All right. So ma'am, of course, every student wants to know what exactly the curriculum will be inside. What are we going to teach them? What is going to be their internships all about? Is there going to be a lot of mooting? All of that. So what is the course curriculum exactly?
Okay, so the course curriculum of this particular program is actually quite interesting. In this particular program in IPL, as opposed to the most prevalent form of LLB courses that we have in the country, they are essentially twin semester based. So this particular course is actually 3-term based. So in an year, you will be typically having 3 terms, and they will expand that over a period of 5 years, and that will be 15 terms in total. And every term has an approximate duration of 3 to 3.5 months. And every term basically has a midterm component and an end term component. And in addition to that, in the course outline, depending upon the course, some 30 to 40% would be reserved for the class participation. So there could be quizzes, there could be any project, there could be any assignment that would be given to you. So it's not just your performance in the examinations, the midterm and the end term, that is being tested. In addition to that, the internal assessment related to class participation, related to project submission, everything is also getting tested. In addition to this, one very interesting thing about the course curriculum is that although it says it's a BBA plus LLB degree, but if you look at the course curriculum, which is also available on the website of IIM Rotman, you will see that many of the social sciences course, such as psychology, sociology, political science also, and I think philosophy also. So these are some of the social science courses that are being taught by us even in the BBA LLB course, because we want to give the students the best sort of access to the kind of knowledge that is available with respect to this particular domain. So social sciences subjects are also being taught, and in addition to that, as I was initially also saying, the stress is on making the overall personality of the student. So that is why there are many courses that are dedicated for developing your English language skills. So LSE 1, LSE 2, these are some of the papers in that direction. Then presentation skills is also taught as a paper, as a subject in IIM Rotman for the IPL program. In addition to that, critical thinking, critical writing, communication skills, these are additionally some of the courses that will be given to you. These are mandatory courses that you have to sit and pass through. So, holistically speaking, not just although we say that this is management plus law, but at the same time, most of the social sciences related domain are getting covered. And in addition to that, stress is upon building your language skills as well as your communication skills and critical thinking and reasoning abilities.
I often use the word that, institutions should always focus upon making students street smart versus book smart. And I think IIM Rotman's IPL program has absolutely proven it right. When you talked about that, you do focus on social sciences, you do focus not just on management and law, but also these aspects of these aspects of life. I think this is what we are expecting in modern education. This is what we want, that when a student is entering after grade 12th to study law, he shall not just be taught about law because maybe it is too early. I can say that, okay, it is the right time, but maybe other aspects of life are also important, where you just spoke about the social sciences part. So it's fantastic. We are focusing a little bit on liberal arts, what I understand here.
Yes.
So that's really nice, students. I think you can understand how the course is formed, how the curriculum is there. So we are going to talk. The next, of course, is going to be all about the teaching pedagogy. That's the most important part, where students would like to know what is being adopted when it comes to the IPL program.
Okay, so the teaching pedagogy, it's related to the course curriculum question only. So, but so far as imparting teaching in classrooms is concerned, there is more stress upon case-based and application-based methods of teaching. And the database in this particular institution, you will have access to the best of the management case studies, whether it is the Harvard repository you're talking about, or Ivy or Emerald. All these databases are already available with us. In addition to this, all the legal databases that you could ask, for example, Manupatra, that access is there. So the stress is basically, at least for the management and the law subjects, is to have an application and case-based method of teaching. And the ideology behind this is that we want to stimulate your reasoning ability and your problem-solving ability. So not just in the domain of the legal problems, you should be also able to apply this sort of a problem-solving ability when we are talking about business situations as well. So this is the kind of pedagogy that is adopted. And I think I forgot to mention the point about internships. So at the end of every year, so you will be asked to take up internships of different types. So in the first year, for example, we have the social and the rural internship. In the second year, I think we will have the management internship. And then further on, you will also get opportunity to do law-based internships at a law firm or, at an NGO or a legal aid organization or something like that. So whatever is being taught basically during all these years, all these concepts will be then put to practice with the help of the internship, and you will be required to file an internship report, and that will be again looked into by the faculty, and this is how the assessment will be done for this course.
Since you spoke about internships, of course, students have only two questions. When does that happen? Which you already answered, that after every year. And second, what they ask is, are these internships always paid?
That depends upon the organization. Generally, especially if you talk about the rural and the social internships, they are not paid.
Right.
Some of the law firms these days, they have adopted this policy of providing a minimum stipend to their interns, but that's very, organization specific. So there is no guarantee. And some management, organizations also do it, but it cannot be guaranteed that definitely there will be a remuneration that would be paid to you.
I believe, ma'am, that's really nice, because having said that, some internships are paid, some are not. What we ultimately get a crux out of this is it's a hands-on training. We are more into learning, more into making them understand this is how the real world is going to look like. So that's where the student should extract, and not worrying more on whether it is going to be paid, because ultimately the placements are any which way is going to be there.
Yes, yes.
All right. So I think selection and admission procedure is pretty much same as you mentioned about the three component students. This is an important question. I believe that's the reason we have been putting it up again and again. You have to make sure that you are writing your CLAT exam properly, or prepping it up very well. You can prep up with LegalEdge, of course. So you are prepping up well. You are making sure that you are practicing a lot of mocks. Make sure your communication skills are great, because that's going to be an integral part of your PI, that is personal interview. And if you are currently in grade 12, please पूरी जान लगा दो अपनी 12th के boards में अच्छे marks लाने के लिए, because that is really important. So ma'am, am I missing on any part when it comes to selection procedure?
No, this is it. This is it.
All right. So since you mentioned that, ma'am, the program is going to be rigorous, I just have one question. So how well the academics and the non-academic part is balanced? Is it like literally 50-50, or do we have a extra weightage to the non-academic part or the academic part? So if you can throw some light on on this question.
Speaking from my perspective, the institution obviously wants a balance between these two parts. They want the academic part as well as the part which is dealing with the practical understanding of the subject, or wherein you could participate in the moot court exercises, or you could be a member of the committee and everything. So a balance obviously needs to be there. But from my personal experience at this institution, I have noticed that academics is actually taken very seriously here. So the duration of every session that we have is actually much more than that is there in any other traditional university. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. So, and there could be 5 sessions, more than 4 sessions also in a day. Typically there are 3 to 4. So that is how it is. So it is from that perspective, for someone who directly comes from the 12th standard, because they are used to a shorter duration span of the lectures, I would say that before you come here, please develop that orientation, that you would be required to sit in the classes for a longer duration, and the performance in the academics is in law, as we say, sine qua non, it's next to none, because if you want to survive in this particular course, that would be needed. But at the same time, we are in the process of operationalizing, not just for the purposes of giving them a practical orientation, for recreational purposes, for all these other purposes. There are various committees that are being operationalized now, and so that they have an edge in this particular direction as well. one very defining feature of the programs at IIMs is that any conference, any seminar, any guest lecture that is organized, it is completely student driven. There could be a faculty supervisor to help you out, to basically guide you, show you the light, but everything, the coordination and everything, reaching out to the resource person, everything is being done by the student committees. And that is, I think, that is something which is very important, because that gives you the confidence as to how to approach these kinds of people who are already advanced in their respective professions. So that is something also that is being done here.
What I understand from this particular statement is that they are practicing and exercising management as in when they are doing these programs. It's not a specific way that they're going around, but these kind of activities which is by the students and for the students, they are automatically learning management and with the field in the field of law, with a backbone of law.
Yes, yes.
So I think this is a fantastic thing, students, again, because we need to understand that, see how beautifully a management school is coming into the picture, starting law and beautifully amalgamating the two components, that is law as well as management. Nowhere we can see that there is a, there's a gray area or something. We can see there's a clear cut difference, and still, collaboratively we have made the program. So that's really nice. I think you have, I already see a couple of questions in the chat box. I'll just pick up one question which is pretty much related to the discussion that we were doing. They're asking about what is the last date to apply for this program, if it is.
Okay, so the last date to apply is actually this year. The CLAT exam got delayed. So
Yeah.
At present, the CLAT examination is, I think, scheduled for 19th of June.
Yes.
And I think it will be updated later on the website. The last date of submission of the online application would be the next week. So around 26th or 27th of June. But please do, look up the website. So the last date has not yet passed. Definitely up to the conduct of the CLAT examination, it will be there. And in addition to this, we are hoping that the first call for the personal interview would be made in the first week of July, and the announcement of the online personal interview would be conducted somewhere in the third week of July, and the announcement of the selection list would be in the first week of August, and finally in the first week of September, we are hoping that we will start with the new academic session.
All right. So students, please make a note of these dates. This is really important. यहाँ पे तुम्हारे लिए जो important बात है वो start हो गई है. You know that when is the CLAT exam for 2022? It is on 19th of June, and right after following week, you have to make sure that you have applied to IIM Rotman's IPL program. And the program is starting on 1st of September. So before that, in those 1.5 months of time, you will get calls for interview if you get shortlisted. So puri jaan laga do CLAT clear karne mein. We barely have got time. Students, you can even join our crash course batches for the same, because we are there to help you out, prepare you up, and make sure that IPL, that is IIM's program, is in the list where all the other national law universities are for you. Because today we are here to validate students that how amazing the program is. We are here to talk about the curriculum, the extra co-curricular activities, the co-curricular activities, how the balance is there, how the campus life is, each and everything. So we are basically backing each and every statement with a fact, right? So that is where we want to tell you that just like you are aiming for any other national law school or a good private law school, definitely you should have IPL in mind. And why? That is why we are here to answer each and every question. So answering the question that you have only asked, please feel free to write whatever you have in your mind in the chat box. So I think, ma'am, important dates have already been answered right now, which you were talking. Is there any date that students need to keep in mind? I'll just post it in the chat box.
Yeah, so regarding as I've already told you, just keep visiting the website regarding the newer notification for the last date of applying. I am, hoping it will be 1 week after the conclusion of the CLAT examination, but I don't have a certainty, complete certainty regarding that. So just please keep visiting our website, or you can contact us otherwise as well.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, can you please tell the entire website URL as well as a particular email ID where students can contact you if they have any sort of questions on the same?
Okay, the email ID I will communicate it to you later, because
all right, ma'am, no problem. I'll communicate.
IIM Rotman website, I will just post the URL for that.
Sure, ma'am.
It's
Students, you guys can
www.imrottak.ac.in. That is what it says.
.in. There we go. So I have posted, just have a look if I have posted it correctly, www.imrottak.ac.in. Is that fine?
One second. Yeah, this is the, yes.
All right. So students, it is there in the chat box. You guys can make sure that for the important dates and everything, don't miss upon it. You can understand how amazing the curriculum is, how amazing the program is, and how amazingly Tanya ma'am is here to answer each and every question. So students, make sure that you keep a tab on the dates and make sure that you fill the forms in the right time. You keep a tab on, of course, your CLAT preparation, which is the primary step to getting admission to this. All right. Moving ahead, ma'am, before the skill set wala question I asked, there are students who are constantly asking about placement opportunities. What kind of placement opportunities are expected when they become law graduates from IPL, IPL program?
So as placement support is there in any IIM, that would be provided to them. So, I mean, regarding this, I also don't have much of a clarity. I need some, some further input from the institution because right now the students are only in the first year. So regarding the PGP placements that they can see, that has been excellent. It is 100%. The average package was around, I think, 15 LPA. The highest was around 32 LPA. So placement support would be provided to all students of IPL as well. And another thing that I wanted to tell you about, this particular program. Right now, this particular program is being run from the IIM Rotman campus in Rohtak. But in future, the future plans are that IIM Rotman is actually coming up with an extension campus in Gurugram. So this particular program specifically, it will be shifted there. Right. So this,
ma'am, when you're saying it is going to be shifted, is it going to be for the current batch itself?
Yeah, so for the current batch also, we are hoping that within 1 or 2 years, the land has already been allotted to us. The foundation stone has been laid. It is, I think, in the process of construction. So within a span of, I think, 1.5 years, or maybe even up to 2 years, depending upon the construction pace. So the School of Law, if IPL program at least, it will be shifted to the Gurgaon Extension campus, and it will be right there on the Golf Course Road, which is the hub of all corporate activity. So, I think that will further on give the students an exposure about the corporate environment.
I think each and every step has been done pretty much thoughtfully. Like even as you mentioned that it's going to be on the golf course road, that itself speaks that, we are taking in care of each and everything, right from where the campus should be, how the course should be, each and everything is like that. So students, again, as I'm mentioning again and again, and I would like to reiterate that please make sure that IPL should be one of the programs that should top your list when it comes to other colleges as well. Because किसी भी कॉलेज को अच्छा या बुरा हम कब बोलते हैं when we know the insights, we know the placements, we know the package, and we are getting exact details. You just heard that the package that got, the last placement we had was 15 lakhs per annum. That's such a fantastic opportunity, students. So you don't even have to rethink about whether it is worth or not. All right. Moving ahead, students definitely would like to know, ma'am, that what are the library and other resources that are available to them, and how well they can access it when they are a part of the IIM program, IPL program.
Okay, so the library with physical books is obviously there on the campus. It will be constructed for the Gurgaon campus as well. So all the AIR manuals, the various journals, the various textbooks, everything that is needed and the reference books would be provided to you. In addition to this, what I found most interesting about the library resources here in IIM is that they have subscribed to lot many databases, which probably, as any other law graduate, we actually would not have access of. So JSTOR, OUP, Cambridge, all these, Oxford, and then Emerald, all these basically the big databases which are there in the stream of social sciences, in the stream of management, and also JSTOR is very good for law as well. So access to all these databases is there with every student, and textbooks are provided to every student. The ebooks, so the access to the ebooks is given before the start of the course curriculum itself. So already, that is being taken into account. So you have that kind of a repository with you of the textbooks as well. So it's quite good, the e-resources specifically.
All right, ma'am, I have a question. I don't know how, I mean, is it even right to us? So I have done one of the courses from IIM Indore, and I know that I have a lifetime access to the library over there. So is it going to be the same if a student is an alumna of IIM Rohtak after doing the IPL program? Does he have an access to such a comprehensive, exhaustive library for lifetime?
I think I will have to get back on that because I'm not
All
aware
right.
of
All
the
right, ma'am, no problem at
institution.
all. Absolutely no problem. So, ma'am, before I ask the students that they should shoot their questions, I want you to tell us that is there any tip or anything special that you would like to tell to the students that this is what they should keep in mind, or any suggestion, any advice if you would like to give?
Well, we have, generally law aspirants here in. I would say that, you have many options that are available to you. But the law school that you actually go to a law school which basically, has an orientation towards the overall development of personality. This is what I would suggest at, this particular juncture, because you should not just focus on academics. There are so many other aspects of law that you should be concentrating on. So choose a college which is basically giving you an exposure and orientation with respect to all these sundry other aspects of law. And I wish you all the very best to all the students.
Ma'am, on behalf of all the students, definitely I would like to thank you. But in a similar line, I see already there's a question from Malaika. She asked that, there are many NLUs also that offer BBA LLB. Then why should anybody choose an IPL program at IIM Rohtak? I think the question was answered, Malaika, but okay, just because the question is there in the chat box, we would like to take it up again. So, ma'am,
Okay, so
any NLU
this
perspective?
particular question I will answer from my own perspective. I have had the opportunity of teaching at 3-4 law schools before I came here, and I have taught BBA LLB students also before. But the standard of management education, specifically that is being imparted in the IIMs, is uncomparable to what any other NLU or any other private university will basically give you, because these are the pioneers in this line of field. So even in the interactions with my student, I've had the opportunity of attending a few seminars and conferences also with them. So there was a management summit, and the kind of questions our IPL students were putting to forward for the resource persons is something that really impressed me. They were asking questions about startups. They were asking questions about, I am a core law faculty and I am not aware of those concepts. So I think that really impressed me, that they are actually developing a very good legal acumen with respect to the management subjects. And this is what the edge of this particular program is. You are getting the best of management education, and you're also getting the best of legal educations, because regarding the law faculty also, no particular compromise is being made here. The course is BCI approved. So this is how probably I would see it, that so far as the standard of education for the management subjects is concerned, it is much more broad based, and it is of a much more higher level when you will compare it with the NLUs.
So, students, what I understand, since Sanya ma'am is speaking all out of her experience, nothing better than that, because she herself experienced this. And what she's trying to make a point here is with respect to the students. That's even better. So you can understand, students, how the course is going to be much better. Okay, this is an opinion. I'm not saying anywhere, or we are not saying anywhere that you have to compare or there is a versus a fight over here. It's just that out of experience, it's a simple opinion from our side that, okay, this is how the course is going to look like. All right, ma'am, there are students who are asking that after BBA, if they are wanting to exit, is there any exit program for them?
Oh, so that is not permissible in this course. It's a complete integrated degree. No lateral entry or exit is permissible. So we would need your 5 years full investment in this course.
Unlike the IPM, because they do have an exit
Yeah,
program.
in
So I think
IPM
that is
there
where the
is.
question has stemmed in their mind.
Yeah. So what is happening actually right from the first year itself? So from the first term itself, they are being exposed to the legal subjects. So ILSM starts in the first year. Law of torts also starts in the first year. So it's not just core BBA that is happening in the initial 3 years already. So by the time they are in second year, there will be 3 law subjects. By the time they are in the third year, there would be 4 law subjects. So that's why, because
All
already
right.
we start with the legal education concurrently with the start of the course.
So basically the curriculum is designed in such a way that the exiting option is not practically feasible as well.
Yeah, it's not possible.
All right. So, ma'am, students are asking that what is the total fees of the program, and of course, the dates to apply. Students, we've already mentioned that you have to keep visiting the website for the same. The URL of the website I've already posted in the chat box, but yeah, we can definitely talk a little bit on the fees part. Yeah.
Okay, so the fees is, I think, cumulatively at present, what is mentioned on the website is around 32 lakhs. So it starts at around 6 lakhs per annum, and this is the tuition fees, and incrementally it goes up. So every year some, more component is added. So cumulatively, I think it is coming out to be around 32 lakhs at present. That is the course fee, yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, in the same line of interest, there was another question asked by the student that what about the packages of placements for students who want to go on a corporate side or in a law firm, since the fees is so high? So they are considering the fees is high. So will they get that kind of placements that the fees will all be remunerated maybe in a year or two?
Well, regarding that, as I was saying, that we are only in the first year at present, so I cannot, give you the figures as to, where our batch, the first batch has landed up. But the placement support would be there, and regarding the kind of remuneration that law graduates generally get. So, that is quite competitive. So in corporate law firms, the good of the firms today are paying at the starting level between 12 to 15. So that is what, so Amachan and Mangalas, I think Amachan is starting at around 15 LPA, something like that. So, if you are into these firms, that is the kind of remuneration that you can expect once you are graduating.
All right, ma'am. I'm again extended forward integration of the same question that do we have any kind of, I mean, apart from reservations, do we have any kind of scholarships for the students, or if IIM help the students to get loans if they are really bright and they are have cleared all the stages of admission? Do we have any kind of extra support or scholarships?
Scholarships, I don't think anything in that regard has been done as yet. But I think regarding loans, about this question also, I'm sorry, I will have to get back. I'll have to speak to the admissions office and I will ask them whether the loans are being facilitated at an institutional level. I will have to ask.
All right, ma'am, not a problem. We can definitely revert the child through the mail, no problem at all. So Shreya Shri has a question which I believe we have already answered, but yeah. So ma'am, I am a student of class 10th right now. Is it necessary to choose humanities in grade 11th to pursue law? Is it necessary?
No. It's not necessary. As I said earlier on also, it is completely neutral, doesn't matter from which stream you come from. But if possible, do take up that subject on legal studies, because that will help you to, develop the concepts for clearing the CLAT examinations. Otherwise, also, if you are, when you are in your 12th standard and if you take up a weekend coaching or something like that, or even if you self-study, you can actually over a period
You can come to LegalEdge in that case.
yeah. So you can develop orientation for, cracking CLAT. It's no difficulty, just consistency is required in that direction. And legal concepts, I understand, we don't study them up until you enroll yourself in a law program. But if you have some bare minimum knowledge about the law of torts, contracts, constitution, crimes, so that will help you. It's not very difficult.
Stream doesn't make much of a difference when it comes to choosing law as a career, and that is why we keep on marketing a fact, ma'am, that law is one of those non-conventional career options where stream doesn't play a role, unlike other options like engineering or medical and so on and so further.
Yes.
All right. So, ma'am, I think that's it for today. We got to answer a lot of questions from the students, and definitely we'll get back to them with a mail ID that where they can write to you. I'll make sure that they have the mail ID with them. Definitely a huge thank you from our side for, you took out time for us, and all the students were questioning and all the answers were given in real time. So thank you, Tanya ma'am, for joining us here.
Thank you so much. And I wish all the students here all the very best for their future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.